Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl JoJo, and I'm coming to you with the review for Ready to Love episode 4. I watched the episode yesterday, which was Sunday, at like 6 o'clock in the morning because my neighbors decided that they was going to have a party, so I couldn't sleep. So I just got up. I watched the episode, meant to review it last night, but child, my barber called me and said he could slide me in for a haircut, y'all, and I couldn't pass that up Sunday night. Y'all know I'm going out of town on Thursday, and you know, it's always a mad dash trying to get stuff done before you go out of town. You always say you're going to do it early, and you never do, so trying to get ready to go. But I woke up early and tried to get to work early so that I could do the video. So I got about 20 minutes now, and then I'm going to do the rest during lunch, and I'm going to try to edit it and get it up for y'all. So anyway, let's get to it. So nephew Tommy has given everybody the challenge to take a woman out that they're really feeling, that they're feeling the most. And then he also wants them to take somebody out that they haven't yet connected with. So we start out with Alex. Alex has decided that he is going to take Tiffany out because y'all know he's been feeling Tiffany from day one. Light skin, freckles, beautiful hair. And if you didn't know that Alex liked Tiffany before this, you definitely knew after this episode. He was telling her how beautiful she was. He loves everything about her, her lips, her hair, her skin, her confidence. He is really feeling her. But then he starts asking her some more questions about her life, and she has this scar. So she tells him about the scar. She grew up in St. Paul. There was a lot going on, a lot of jealousy, a lot of bullying, and someone actually threatened her mother, I think she said, called her mom a B-word, called her house. Her and the girl ended up fighting, and the girl came at her with a pair of sewing scissors. I said, oh my goodness. It's a blessing that she even still has both of her eyes, because that girl really could have done damage to her if she came at her with that kind of force, enough for Tiffany to have to get 133 stitches. But Tiffany is still a very beautiful woman, even with the scar, and that just goes to show a lot of people that, you know, beauty ain't just skin deep, okay? It is all about, you know, who you are as a person, how you carry yourself, because Tiffany is still very gorgeous even after 133 stitches. So Alex likes Tiffany even more after hearing her story and knowing that she has a story to tell. He grew up in Chicago, so he understands fighting and having to really protect yourself. He said he has scars on his knuckles. I didn't see any scars, but he did grow up in Chicago, and everybody I know out here in Houston who grew up in Chicago, especially the guys, they all have a story to tell. So I definitely believe Alex when he said that life was rough growing up out there, and those two are just really feeling each other, and the vibe is there, and the feelings are there, and the attraction is there. They don't want the date to end. So yeah, those two like each other a lot. Alex says that when he looks at Tiffany, he just wants to protect her. And I was just like, oh, now that was really sweet. And Tiffany says that's what she feels like is missing from her life. She feels like she's never really had a man who was there trying to protect her. So yeah, it was cute, y'all. I like their date. So then Alex ends up taking out Shantae, and I don't know what was going on, but he ends up late for the date with Shantae. I'm not really sure. I didn't catch that part as to why he was late. I'm sorry. But I saw some people in some comments on a forum where people were saying that Shantae looked old, or she looked old for her age, and I don't think that Shantae looks old. I think that Shantae, like a lot of women, has a problem under eye area. Her face is very puffy. I myself have a problem under eye area, so I understand you guys will probably never catch me on here without my glasses on for that reason. It's hereditary. I've had it since I was a child, and it just got worse as I got older. And having allergies don't help because you always digging in your face. So, whoo, child, my under eye area, though, has always been a problem. I always said when I come up on some money, I'm going to take care of all that. But her face is just puffy underneath her eyes, and Shantae doesn't necessarily make the best wig choices. Sometimes I feel like in an effort to look younger, ladies, we will get wigs that we think are taking the age off of us, and they're actually aging us. Sometimes those big long curls can give you, you know, the first lady, the Greenleaf Lynn Whitfield hairstyle, not the Lynn Whitfield that we see in interviews that has, you know, some type of other hairdo, but those tight preacher wife curls, it can give you that type of look if you're not careful. So I think that she doesn't always make the best hair and, you know, wig choices. maybe if she switches that up, that probably would help a whole lot. But I don't think that Shantae looks old. I think that she is is Shantae in her 40s? She looks like she's in her 40s, but still a very, very good looking woman. I think we so used to black don't crack and everybody looking, 25 and 30 for the rest of their life. Y'all, that's not realistic. Regular people in the regular world, yes, you can take care of yourself and drink water and eat all the right foods, but we do age. You embrace the good and the bad, and you age gracefully. Like my mom's in her late 40s, about to be 50, and my mom looks like she's in her late 40s, about to be 50, but she still looks good. It's not unrealistic to look your age, black folk, okay? It happens. I can tell that Alex is feeling Shantae, but it's different. Alex is feeling Shantae in a way where he just really wants to know, like, what's behind all of this that Shantae's giving off. Like, Shantae gives me freak vibes. So if she giving me freak, then she giving Alex freak too. But they have a really good date. They end up riding the bull together because that's what Alex has to do for being late. But he convinces her to get on the bull with him. And, it was a whole bunch of sexual connotation going on, but it was still cute. Y'all saw how she was having problems getting on that bull. I said, hold on, Shantae, don't pause. I like Shantae. I like the fact that Shantae, she don't got time to be BS by nobody. So I enjoyed that about her. Michael ends up taking out Rita because he hasn't really got to know a lot about Rita. So they decide to go rock climbing. And Michael already just like, I don't know about this. And Rita must be part Billy Goat because she scaled that wall unlike anything I've ever seen. She got up there real quick. Michael, on the other hand, he did the leapfrog style. His legs was way out here, and he was kind of hobbling up and scaling the wall. But Rita was turned on by it. I said, I guess, girl, if you like frogs, if that's your thing. But she liked the way that Michael climbed that wall. So they sit down together. They start having a conversation. And Michael was like, I want to know some more stuff about you. Like, tell me, I don't know if he said the scariest thing or something that you wouldn't want people to know. And she was like, well, I'm a Taurus. And I said, see, first of all, y'all, if you don't know that people are into zodiacs, you telling them that you a Virgo, I'm a Sag, I'm a Leo, that always gets on my nerves because that's not telling anybody about yourself if they're not into that. Like, I'm into that, so you could tell me that. But if you are on a first date with somebody, they're not going to necessarily know what that means when you say, well, I'm a Taurus. Because even I was just like, well, what that mean? I like Taurus. I can be very stubborn, and if you rub me the wrong way, I could really go off. I could be a nice person. I could be this, and that's everybody, y'all. Anybody could be nice one minute and mean the next if you rub them the wrong way. So that's not really telling us anything, Rita. And Michael kind of gives her an example of what other people have said, because y'all know Michael is good at getting you to answer the way he would like you to answer. So he tells her, some people tell me that they're like loyal to a fault, and they're this or they're that. And she was like, well, how about I eat a lot of vegetables, so I'm always gassy. And then she starts laughing, and I was just like, no, Rita. No, girl, that's not what we're trying to get at here. So Michael ends up telling her about how he was homeless twice, once as a child and once as an adult. And so now Rita realizes that Michael is a little bit more serious than she thought. And she was like, okay, well, I feel like you have been transparent with me, so let me be transparent with you, please. So Rita tells him that she got out of a relationship because the relationship was off and on for many years, and he did not want a family with her. And eventually she had to come to the realization that it wasn't going to happen, that she wasn't going to have the children with him. And so she got out, and she gets a little bit emotional. And Michael appreciates that because he felt like he was talking to a representative of Rita and not the real Rita. She was giving him a used car salesman. I think that's what he said. And he asked her, so when was this relationship over? So Rita act like she can't hear all of a sudden. Now what now? When was the relationship over? Oh, about 3 months ago. And Michael's just like, 3 months ago? Rita is still in her relationship, and I would have to agree with Michael there. That is a red flag for him. He can't be with anybody that's not over their situation. And I will say that you can never really peg how long it's going to take you to get over a relationship or over a situation. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't date when you're trying to get over a relationship, but I do believe that you have to be very careful about the level in which you're dating. You don't want to get out there and be falling heads over heels and you're still not over your previous relationship, because you very well could be using somebody as a place filler and falling in love with somebody who you're not even supposed to be with long term. You were just hurting and you took a short term option. So you have to be very careful with that. But Rita is definitely not still over, and I can't blame her. It was an off again, on again relationship that went on for years and years. Rita, perhaps you should not have come onto a show called Ready to Love. Maybe you should have just dated around a little bit, you know, in your area. But yeah, we just gonna send our prayers out for Rita. Y'all know I love to send a prayer out, so we're gonna send our prayers out for her. But Michael is just like, not really sure about Rita. Now, Aaron ends up taking out Stormy, and I like Stormy because Stormy is a DJ, which I think is so cool, and she's also very cute. She's a good skater, y'all. Did y'all see her out there skating? I feel like if she didn't have on a dress, she would have really been out there showing us something, but, you know, she probably didn't want to fall, but she was cute with it. Stormy was actually one of the women who was on to Aaron and his charming ways and everything that he was doing, so she lets him know, yeah, I've been noticing you a little bit flirtatious. I feel like you probably need the type of woman who can be very confident with herself and can really be secure in their relationship with you, because you have a flirtation about you. I don't know if you're always doing it on purpose, but it's just the way that you carry yourself. So Aaron, y'all know how Aaron do. He get to laughing and, oh, no, you know, I just, you know, acting like he don't know what he doing, but he doing it. And he know he doing it, but he want to act confused. That's what Aaron is pulling. And so as they're talking to one another, she is straight up with Aaron, asking him about what he's ready for and if he is ready for marriage. Is he a marriage type of dude? And I like the way that Stormy is able to execute the question about marriage without sounding needy or accusatory. Sometimes we can do that as women. Like, well, what you want? Like, what you looking for? Are you looking for? I'm looking to get married. I'm looking for a man that's trying to get married. I ain't looking to date no more. Sometimes we can put a lot on it, ladies. So the way that she asked him was perfect. The way that Aaron answered, this is where men like Aaron start to get on my nerves, because they never directly answer a question. It's always a whole bunch of, you know, I think that marriage is important. That's not what I asked you. I asked, were you a marrying man? Did you want to get married? I didn't ask you if you thought marriage was important. Keep carrying on, y'all. I think that marriage is important, and, you know, I feel like, you know, a family is something that I want to show my son. It's important to have family, and I want my son to see what a family is like, and I feel like I need to show. Y'all, it's just, he never really directly answers the question, but I guess Stormy kind of gathered that one day he does want a family, so I guess to her that means he does want marriage. Not necessarily. He asked Stormy, you know, how do you feel about motherhood? How do you feel about kind of maybe being a housewife? Like, what if your man didn't want you to work? And Stormy says that she is with it. If her man didn't want her to work, she'd be fine with it, because Stormy is divorced. And in her situation, she was raising her stepkids, and her stepkids were a lot of the reason that she stayed in her marriage, because she enjoyed mommyhood and she just loved being a mother. So if she had to be a stay-at-home mom, she would be 100% with it. So trying to look at my notes. Now Aaron is kind of feeling Stormy a little bit. So he done switched up, y'all. He is seeing something in Stormy that he really liked. So that's going to be interesting, because, you know, Miss Angel thought she had it in the bag. Now, speaking of Angel, let's just jump straight into the date between Angel, Aaron, and Michael, and I cannot remember this child's name. Shatava. I think it's Shatava. Let's jump into the date between Shatava and Michael and Angel and Aaron. They go on a double date. They go salsa dancing. And long story short, y'all, Michael and Shatava have plenty of chemistry. They are getting it. They are cute. Angel and Aaron, on the other hand, the whole thing is off. The vibe is not really where it needs to be. I'm guessing the two of them can't dance, or maybe Aaron just has two left feet, but somebody over there can't dance, because it's not really going well. Aaron feels awkward with Angel, and Angel is feeling like Aaron is not really as talkative with her as he normally is. He's acting kind of awkward. He's being kind of distant. And ladies, our intuition, child, it be on point when it comes to that distance. We know when something is going on. We know when you done met somebody else. We know when you feeling somebody else, men. We know. So Aaron is acting that way because he's not really sure about Angel anymore since he's gone on a date with Stormy. And I just was like, see, you ain't no true player from the Himalayas, because a real player would have been able to both entertain Stormy and Angel, the real one, would have been able to entertain both of them ladies, and none of them would have been none the wiser. But, you know, you ain't really got it in you. You distracted, okay? Stormy done put her confidence and her spell on you. Now you can't get right with Angel. So Angel is noticing that she doesn't really know what's wrong. They used to have really good chemistry, but now he's not sure about Angel. But instead of telling Angel, you know, I'm interested in other people, and I still like you, but there's some other people that also have my eye, he is still making Angel feel like, you know, I really am feeling you. Like, you definitely not out the running, and I still really like you. And that is the problem that Aaron has had the entire competition. But Angel is just like, yeah, something isn't right. So yeah, she's definitely catching on to what Aaron is trying to do. Now let's jump back to another part of the episode where Tiffany invites the ladies to her little paint and design, invites the ladies over to her paint and design place. Even though she works in a corporate bank, she got plenty of side hustles, and this is one of them. She owns her own wine and design with another one of her friends, I believe. So she invites some of the ladies out to the event. It's Melinda, it's Shatava, it's Shay, and I think that Ashley was there too. So pretty much all the ladies were there for the most part. So they come to the event, and there's this male model that they gonna paint. Now, they was trying to act like he was some for real eye candy. I was like, I mean, y'all acting like, I mean, he wasn't no Morris, y'all. I love me some Morris Chestnut. He wasn't no Morris, but he was cute. So he posing, y'all, and they gonna paint the guy, and they're having conversations about the men that they're dating. And Melinda, now y'all know Melinda believes that Aaron is her man. And she was just like, you know, it's very hard to think about your man dating other women. But I know that Aaron and I have a connection, and he's really feeling me. And I've already had sex with him in my head. So they just like, Melinda, she said, look, I can't help it. I already done had sex with him in my head. And Shay is just like, you know, Melinda is bad in every way. But when it comes to her emotions and her feelings, she just needs to kind of reel it in. You know, don't be falling too quick for these dudes. Y'all know I love me some Shay because she is 100% right. Young ladies who are watching this video, that is something that you have got to remember when you are dating and you are dealing with these men. Do not fall head over heels too fast, because you do not want to find yourself disappointed or looking foolish. So learn when to pull it back. Melinda is all in though. She likes Aaron. She's feeling Aaron, and we find later on why Melinda has really wrapped her head into Aaron in this way. We're going to talk about it in a minute. But she is really feeling Aaron, and she don't really care what anybody has to say about it. So Shatava goes over to Shay's print shop because she wants to do some business with her. She has a boutique, and Shay does a lot of screen printing, and she wants some vinyl letters in her boutique. So she wants the two of them to do business together. But before they do that, she feels like she needs to have a conversation with Shay in regards to they're both liking Michael, I'm guessing. And I wouldn't have had any problem with Shatava if she would not have came at Shay the way that she did. I feel like she was trying to take some jabs at Shay, like indirectly, but y'all tell me if I'm seeing that wrong. So she comes in there, and after they talk about the letters and Shay tells her what she can do, she looks at Shay and says, well, I want to talk to you about Michael. I know that you are a little bit older. I know that you're older. And Shay was kind of just like, oh, okay. And you know, you may be ready to jump into something very serious, and you may be a little bit more ready and a little bit wanting this a little bit more. And I didn't want there to be any problems between you and I, because, you know, I do just want to have fun, and I'm feeling him, but, you know, it's not anything that I have to just have or make serious. And I know you probably are ready for something more serious since you're older. That's kind of how she was coming at Shay with it. And Shay was just like, well, you know, it has nothing to do with it. I know that Michael's not my man. I know that this is a competition, and I know that the best woman will win. I'm confident in what we have with each other, and Shatava says she's confident too. Okay, well, fine. You know, he'll have to make a choice, and that's just what it is. But Shatava, girl, I'm telling you, you had the right one with that one, because I don't know. I feel like Shay handled it very well, but I don't know if I would have been able to handle it like that. Like, I don't have that kind of growth. It depends on which day you would have caught me on. If you would have caught me on the wrong day, she would have caught a jab right back, because I don't have time for that indirect shade that she was trying to throw. And Shatava, What you need to be worried about is this. While Shay may be 10 years your senior, she looks 10 years your junior, and maybe even more than that. Hell, she looked 10 years my junior. Be worried about when anybody else is ready for it, talking about you want to do business. And then, y'all, if that wasn't messy enough, when she went on her date with Michael, which I know I've already discussed that, but let me bring it back up. When she went on her date with Michael, she brings up to Aaron all the stuff that Melinda was saying at the paint and sip, and how she was really feeling you, and how nobody else was really in the running, and she really is liking you, and she's saying that you are calling her and doing all this and doing all that. I'm just like, girl, what is this really about? Like, y'all let me know if I'm seeing this wrong. Maybe this is just a part of friendly competition, but I feel like what goes on over here needs to stay over here. You don't want Aaron, so why are you telling him everything that Melinda said, trying to make Melinda look bad? Worry about self. Worry about Shatara and Michael. Don't worry about anybody else. See, I'm not really caring for Shatara, y'all, right now. Y'all let me know if y'all seeing it different, though. I might be seeing it wrong. Okay, so then nephew Tommy meets up with the guys again. Michael lets Tommy know that he's not really feeling it for Rita. She's still in her relationship. Alex does give some updates, but he says that Tiffany is wifey material. That's who he is feeling the most. Then we get back over to Aaron, and Aaron is concerned about some of the things that he heard about Melinda, and Tommy is concerned that Aaron is still giving these women false hope. We talked about this last week, and I feel like nephew Tommy is really working to get Aaron to understand that it's not about you being indirect, or it's not about you telling lies to these women, because he's not doing that, but it's the fact that you are leaving it on the table that there's something when you know there's nothing. And he's trying to get him to understand that that's not really being the right type of dude. You don't want to do that. Aaron doesn't really see a problem. He just feels he's being a nice guy. So what, I'm texting 3 or 4 women good night, and it's not really a big deal. It's just a good night. And Tommy was like, is it a good night or is it a good night? You know, it's all about your perception and how you're making it seem. And that's what he's trying to get Aaron to understand in this competition, which is great, because sometimes I don't feel like men even realize that they're manipulating the situation, but I think they work it in their head that they're not. So this is the problem that we are having with Miss Melinda, y'all. And let's just jump right over to Melinda. Oh my gosh, y'all, I was so embarrassed for her. I was so embarrassed watching her on that TV. I was so embarrassed watching her on that TV yesterday, y'all. So let's just talk about it. Oh gosh, it was so bad. So Melinda had given Aaron a phone call earlier, and Aaron was acting distant. You know, she was telling him she missed him. When are you going to come over so I can cook for you again? And, you know, she's really putting it all out there on the table. Aaron never really directly answers her question. It's just a whole bunch of, I don't have my schedule right in front of me, and I don't really know, and maybe we can do something. So she never really gets an answer, but she can tell that Aaron's acting a little funny with her. Aaron's being a little distant. Like, what's going on with him? Like, I don't understand what's going on with my man. It's her attitude. So when they do meet up, and they do have lunch together, Melinda's all giddy. She's excited to see him. You know, she's smiling at him. He's smiling at her. And you can tell that Aaron is feeling, he's feeling a little apprehensive about how to approach Melinda and let her know that it's not really going the way that she thinks it's going. He's talking to her, and he does that thing, y'all, where he is talking around the subject. And I'm telling you, Aaron is so indirect, and it's so hard for him to have a difficult conversation, and it's so unattractive. Like, I just feel like when I meet a man who I can tell is trying to skirt the issue, I get so turned off and I get so frustrated. And that's exactly what he was doing. He breaks down to Melinda finally. I want to tell you where we stand. I've kind of been doing this thing where I'm telling people what they want to hear, and one of those people that I've been doing that with is you. And Melinda is shocked, because she's just like, you mean you've been calling me, you've been texting me, you told me that I was your number one? And Aaron is just like, I never told you that you were my number one. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Now you're not going to sit here and lie. You told me that I was your number one. And y'all, let's just pause right here. Let's do a little bit of life lessons with JoJo. Can we do that? Okay. See, there's 2 ways that you can go about what Aaron is doing, okay? And one way I respect. The first way is when you come directly to a woman and you let her know what you are and you are not ready for. You answer that question very clearly. I want a girlfriend. I want a relationship. I don't really want a relationship. Maybe I want one later, but right now I'm just trying to chill. I'm just trying to get to know you. I don't want a girlfriend. That's one way that I respect, because one thing, ladies, once they tell us what it is, it's up to us to figure out what we're going to do. Either you're going to go into it knowing what it is and accepting the consequences of what you do, or you're going to decide that you want to pull out of it and find somebody who's going to be more serious with what you want. But it's all up to you because he put it out there on the table for you. Then there's the second way. And the second way I have absolutely no respect for. The second way is when you come into a situation and you give women hope that there could be a relationship. Well, you know, I'm kind of dating, but I definitely could see a future with you. You definitely the type of girl I would want to settle down with. And, you know, I want to get to know you. I want to build a friendship first, and then we can move on. Never letting the woman know that you're really not interested in a relationship. You really are interested in just whatever she's willing to give and whatever else some other women are willing to give. You don't want no parts of it. Aaron is doing, he's kind of doing like a hybrid, really, between the two in this competition. But one thing about it, ladies, is I always tell my girlfriends this: if y'all gonna play the game, then we gotta be the coach. We ain't got time to be no player. You got to really get your head in there and know what's going on, know the strategies, know how to get in and out. You need to know the strategy. And Aaron is kind of, he's doing a hybrid between two of the ways. See, then there's those men who paint themselves as the nice guy. They will tell you they do not want a relationship, but they will then begin to accept all of the benefits of a relationship, and then they will never give you one. And then when you get emotionally drawn in, when you start to tie yourself in and really like them, they will then drop that bomb on you and say, hey, I had already told you what it was. So all that other stuff I was doing, I was just being a nice guy. I took you to meet my mom, so what? I took you to meet my kids. You were at my house all the time. You were cooking, you were cleaning. We was hanging out. We was going on dates, but you was never my girl, though. You know, I was just being a nice guy. And that's kind of the blend that Aaron has. And while I know it hurts, ladies, it makes you feel horrible. I have been in that situation more than once. It is a horrible feeling. It happens. And we got to take accountability of our side. I'm sorry. I know it sounds horrible, but we just got to take our accountability. If he tells you what it is, you pull back. And if you feel like you are emotionally strong enough to do whatever it is y'all do and you not get too attached, then you go ahead. But most of the time, we will find ourselves getting there, especially if we're not dating other people. Now, if you dating other people, you usually can pull it off. Trust me. As bad as it is and as bad as it sounds, they will accept it. They will take what they can get from you and not offer you anything in return. And that is just what it is. Now, about this show is that Nephew Tommy is trying to get the guys to see that the way that they move, even though it's not lying per se, it's not the best to do to manipulate another person's feelings. And that's for men and women. Y'all gonna get yourself caught up in a fatal attraction playing with these folks' emotions. I have seen that happen as well. But when I was in the situation, what I did tell somebody was, you know what? I got to be responsible for my part because you did tell me what it was. And even though you began to behave like we were in a relationship, I still should have known better because you had already told me what it was. But in the future, and I broke this down to him, y'all, when you are dealing with somebody, try not to do things that a relationship like, because it is confusing for a person, especially a person that likes you. And he was going on and on about being a nice guy and he was just being a friend. And I was just like, I will tell you this and you can take it however you want. I would never treat a friend the way that you treated me. I would never manipulate a friend to believing that something was more than what it was. Even if it was just our friendship, I would not do that to a person. And when I said that, he kind of got quiet. And he didn't say anything else. And after that, I didn't speak to him for a while. But he did end up coming back to tell me that he understood what I was saying and that it was a form of manipulation and I was right. And he was going to think about that as he dated in the future. So me and him are still cool. But yeah, y'all, it's a way to communicate to men that the way that they made you feel wasn't the best. But when you own your part, you give them room to own their part. But when you do what Melinda did, which was go off on the nigga. And I wasn't mad that she went off on him. But y'all, she went off on him. She was spilling tea. She was blasting him. But what she did was she didn't leave room for Aaron to take accountability. She pretty much told him about herself and she made herself look like the aggressor. And that's what you never want to do, ladies. Always leave it open for them to take accountability for their part and you take accountability for yours. But when you come at them, and I know we be mad and I know we be emotional, but when you come with all that finger pointing and spilling tea and you said Angel was born and you said this, you was texting me, you was calling me, I got the call logs, I got this. When you start doing all that, you start to make yourself look emotionally drawn in and you really make yourself look crazy. And Melinda played herself last night. She did. But I totally understood. When she was talking, I was like, I believe it. I believe Aaron did all of that. And I personally believe Aaron hit it. I do. Because that was some sexual tension. I don't care what nobody say. But I believe that he was manipulating her. But she did not leave the floor open for him to take any accountability. She made it easy for him to skirt the issue. She made it easy for herself to look bad. She made it easy for him to call her crazy and say, I see why you're single. She made herself look played. She looked played. And I hated it for her, y'all. But that's just how it go, ladies. Be the coach. Don't try to be the player. Be the coach. And y'all let me know what y'all thought about Aaron. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about that Shatava. And we will talk about it in the comments. All right. Thank y'all for watching. Bye.